Good afternoon. Welcome to the Melissa Cardinals Network. This is Trey Graham, along with Cardinals head football coach Matt Nally. This is the Cardinals Scoreboard show for playoff week number 2. Cardinals coming off a big victory over Colleyville Heritage. The final score was 41-10. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
8-2 feels pretty good.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jump right to the stats.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Okay. You told me last game that even though the yardage was a big difference, the first downs were the same in the victory over Denison because you had so many explosive plays.
Yes, sir.
You didn't really have a lot of first downs.
Right, yes, sir.
This game, 36 first downs for the
Yeah.
Cardinals, 18 for Heritage.
Right.
That shows what? Sustained drives?
Not just that, but I'm sure you're going to talk about the rushing stat here in a second. It had a lot to do with the fact of the way we were able to run the football. And you know as well as I do, like when you're playing the game of football and you can successfully run it, you're going to have a lot of success. And that is what we, in Case did. And that's why we got to push that first down. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I saw two stats that I couldn't believe, and one of them was the first downs. I was like, man, I didn't realize that we had that many first downs in the game because you can kind of have a feel for things. And I was like, we probably a normal game, probably 22 first downs, But when I saw 36, it shocked me. But it goes back to Coach Hamilton and them doing a great job of continue to call like one of our pillars on offense. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So continue to call the same things that are working and taking what the defense gives them.
A rare situation where Colleyville Heritage had more passing yards than total yards because they had negative 10 yards rushing. Melissa, 372 on the ground, which is a lot. That's Army football style, right? They had negative 10 yards rushing for the game.
Yes, sir.
With a little bit of explanation. Sacks count against rushing yards.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a misleading stat. Still, 372 on the ground for the Cardinals, minus 10 for the opponent.
The kids and first off, when it comes to stats like that, it's going to come down to the game plan. And then we have an acronym for defense, and that's RCE, recognize, communicate, and execute. And those kids recognized because they did some simple things formationally, but they also did some pretty complex things formationally that could put us in a bad situation if our kids didn't execute it, or I'm sorry, recognize it and then communicate it. And they did an unbelievable job of those two things and then executing the game plan. So that goes back to Coach Spann and his staff doing a great job over the weekend and throughout the week of incorporating and coming up with the game plan, but then the kids executing the game plan during the game.
Total yards, 587 for the Cardinals, 316 for Colleyville Heritage. Bear Tabor, 21 carries, 161 on the ground, averaging 8 yards a carry with 2 touchdowns.
That's pretty good.
Question for you strategically. Now, this is not a knock on Coach Edwards or anything at all. It's a general question.
Yeah.
When you're behind 2 or 3 touchdowns in a playoff game, wouldn't you speed up the pace? Wouldn't you try to hurry up? Or is it just too out of the norm for you? Because I was expecting them to speed it up and they didn't.
To be honest with you, I don't know if that is, I don't know Coach Edwards' philosophy. When I was the offensive coordinator for Coach Stinton, we did not play what people consider fast nowadays. Now, back in those days, it was considered fast. But we always worked 2 minutes, our 2-minute plan throughout the week. So you would think that people had a 2-minute plan. Once again, I don't know Coach Edwards' philosophy, and maybe they did.
Simple. I don't have a lot of time left in this game, and I'm 2 or 3 scores behind.
And maybe they did. They maybe because of personnel or something. Because I knew they had some injuries up front. Maybe that's why, or whatever the case may be. But normally, when you're down like that, you want to push the pace a little bit so you could potentially get an explosive that turns into a touchdown, and you can kind of cut the score a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
I was surprised. I would have predicted, again, you need more points. You need more plays. We're going to meet our offensive and defensive players of the game here in just a moment. We're going to meet our defensive player of the game first, defensive end Uche Dempa, and he had a tremendous game. He was really all over the quarterback, Weaver, and he was coming back from an injury.
Right.
So he'd been out over a month.
7 weeks.
Was it your plan to play him full go? Was he going to ease back in? What was the plan coming off the injury?
So we tried to play him. We tried to get him ready for the Walnut Grove game, and Coach Ann Morton, our trainers, does an unbelievable job of with rehabilitation and getting kids ready to go. About maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, we kind of decided, hey, based off of practice performance, we're like, hey, Uche probably needs to sit another week. And then when we got into the Denison week, it was, hey, our seed is our seed. There's nothing we can do. Let's just give him another week to rehab and get through it. And then going into the Colleyville game, in all reality, I don't know how much Uche really would have played if something didn't happen to Brenham Sherney. And when Brenham Sherney got hurt in the Denison game, the plan going into the Colleyville game was we were going to kind of phase Uche back in, getting going, and then round two, here we go.
That was not phased in.
That was not phased in. And then we kind of thought to ourselves too, we moved Zaid Shaheed. He's still going to be one of our running backs, but we put him down at the defensive line. He did an amazing job Friday night. He had a great week of practice. But we were like, guys, we cannot just throw him to the wolves on Friday night. And Uche's at least been in the fire. So we were like, okay, we're going to start him and see how it goes. And at the beginning of the game, I think when you come off of certain types of injuries, that you're a little timid just because of the injury. So at the beginning of the game, Uche, he started slow, but I believe that I haven't spoke to him about this, but my opinion is when he realized I'm okay, I'm good, he became old Uche and was all over the place, and it's kind of hard to take him out.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that minus 10 yards rushing was partly due to him.
Yeah. Yes.
So he is our defensive player of the game, and the offensive player of the game. We try to spread it around a little bit, but when your quarterback is as good as Brett Holloway's playing, he ends up in that chair quite often.
Right.
Over 200 yards rushing and 200 yards passing, a tremendous game, a touchdown through the air and on the ground. I don't know what else you have to say about Brett Holloway, but he's earned it another week.
That was the second stat. The first was the 36 first downs, and the second stat is the quietest 200 yards rushing
232
that I've ever been around. Because someone said, "Hey, how many yards did he get?" I would have said like 60. Like about 60 yards. I mean,
per drive.
You know what I mean? Just like I never thought it was that large.
Yeah.
But once again, when people ask me about play calling, you're a really good play caller if you got a kid like Brett. And I consider myself a very average play caller, but there's people out there who thought I was a great play caller, but I wasn't. I just had Brendan Lewis. And I think Coach Hammy is way better than I ever could be and things like that. But Brett Holloway is a kid that takes a bad play and makes it a good play. And not to, be too, I don't know what the word is, arrogant or whatever the case may be, but there's a quote that I say on Friday night, probably more than I should, but it's just let Brett do Brett things, and I tell that to Coach Amy, just let Brett do Brett things. And I think that that's what he's good at, and we've got to embrace that as well. Like we can't put a kid in our box. We got to let that kid be himself. But once again, it goes back to just how intelligent Brett really is. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I think he gets a whole lot of credit for being a great athlete. and a great quarterback and a great leader for the program. But I don't think he gets enough credit for all the checks and all the things that he does throughout a game. He is such a student of the game that, yeah, I'm just so proud that he's our quarterback.
And you'll be okay if he sits in that chair a few more weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I bet you will. Big victory in the first round of the playoffs over Colleyville Heritage. We're going to take a break and let you meet our players of the game and see some of their highlights. We'll come back and talk more with Coach Nally about the second round of the playoffs and the long journey ahead.
Yes,
We'll be back on the Melissa Cardinals Network. Welcome back to the Melissa Cardinals Network. We're introducing you to our players of the game for the big playoff victory over Colleyville Heritage. Our defensive player of the game, defensive end, Uche Dempa, senior number 5, had a wonderful game. Congratulations on being our defensive player of the game.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. You had some time off due to injury.
Yes, sir, I did.
What was that season of the life feeling like?
For those 6 weeks that I was out, it was just time for me to rehab and have some spiritual growth off the field. And, ultimately coming back, that helped me into having the game that I did that last Friday.
Well, it was an excellent game.
Yes, sir.
High motor, as the coaches would like to say, all the time, right? So what was the game plan going into Colleyville Heritage?
The game plan, so they had a really talented quarterback,
Right.
knowing that, he could throw well as as run the ball. So coming in the game plan was to contain, force him to stay inside the pocket, and that ultimately led into us, having the amount of sacks that we did.
Well, they threw for a lot of yards.
Yes, sir, they did.
They ran for almost nothing.
Right.
Was your plan to shut the run down, or that's just how it worked out?
I mean, I believe that's just how it worked out. We really don't want them to have any yards passing or rushing, but just having that type of quarterback with that type of talent on the field, you can only do so much. So with us stopping the run, it did give us more time to focus on, defending the pass.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived in Melissa?
I've lived in Melissa my whole life.
Your whole life?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where were you born?
I was born in Dallas, and then at the age of around 2 months, I moved to McKinney, then moved to Melissa, starting my pre-K year here.
So you've gone to every year of school here?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what's your plan for after high school?
After high school, I plan on going to college to study psychology, and then also pursue my football career there.
Okay. Are you talking to some schools?
Yes, sir, I am.
You have some offers?
Yes, sir, I do.
You want to make a big announcement today?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. But when you're ready,
Yes, sir.
you'll come back. Okay. Tell me what Coach Nally and Coach Span have taught you about defense.
Well, Coach Span, he's been a coach here before. Then he left to a different school, came back. But one thing that he's taught me that's stuck with me throughout this past season is just being relentless and having effort on the field. You know, a lot of people have different talents, different skill sets, but one thing that we need as football players is just effort, because that's something that you just can't coach, which I believe makes me one of the better player that I am today, just because of the effort and the grit that I have.
Okay. And what about Coach Nally?
Coach Nally, as soon as I came here my freshman year, him being the head coach, he's always just had a positive attitude, the joy that he brings, but also his passion for the game, and, the time that he puts in that we don't see, but, that you learn over time that the work that they do behind the scenes helps us so much. Coach Nally has taught me to, to continue to keep pursuing and love what you're doing. And when you love what you're doing, that's when you're going to do it to the best of your ability.
Good. Favorite class in school?
Favorite class in school? Definitely my forensic science class.
A lot of people say that one. Why is
Really?
that?
Well, I think it's an interesting subject, as well as the teacher that I have is one of the coaches, Coach Goggin,
Yeah.
the tight end coach. I've also known him since my sophomore year. I had him as a teacher that year. And, just growing up my high school career, being with him too, he's made it, a lot easier to, get by on the field and in the classroom as well.
Good. You want to say anything to the Cardinal fans who've been watching all season long?
Thank you guys for your support. It's a hard journey. And for those of you who have played football before, you know that it's very hard to be a student athlete, putting, your grades first and then coming right after school to, practice, or even coming before school to practice. And with the support that you guys give, it just helps us a lot more than you guys even know. So thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Our defensive player of the game for the big victory over Colleyville Heritage, defensive end Uche Dimpa. We'll take a break and let you meet our offensive player of the game right after this.
Go. 3rd down and 1, motion man. And Weaver's going to throw it on 3rd and short and throw an incomplete pass. Supin Casey was the intended receiver. Threw it ahead of him, and it's incomplete pass.
That was all forced by Uche. Number 5 with the pressure right in his face.
Run the ball and losing yardage. Good play there for the Cardinals D. That was Bess on the carry.
Uche on the tackle.
It's good to have him back. He's been on the injury list for a few weeks. Good to have
He's been out since the Anna game.
Uche Dimka back.
First game back, you just don't know how long it's going to take them to knock the rust off. But Uche's came right in and made some big plays here in the first half.
2nd and goal from the 7, ball on the right hash. Wing left, twins left to the wide side. Weaver, the quarterback, hands the ball off, and it's a loss on the play. Good job there for the Cardinals D.
It's Uche again.
Back to the 9, where it'll be 3rd and goal.
His 2nd tackle for a loss on this series. Big number 5 is making his presence known.
Report I got earlier in the week was a different set of officials, so somehow the Waco fellas came to join us. There's a sack on the first play of this drive, and Uche Dimka has made his presence known coming back from injury.
Yes, he has.
-7, and the clock is rolling. Ball on the left hash, twins to both sides. Bodie Weaver in the shotgun, takes a snap, rolls to his right. There's Dimka to chase him down from behind. And
back-to-back sacks there by Uche.
And looks like Coach Nally's going to let this clock roll and keep his 1 timeout on the other side of the 2-minute timeout. Weaver in the shotgun. Has time, throws it deep, and it's a duck. And there it is, number 6, Jared Patusek with the pick. And the Cardinals offense takes over.
And that ball was floated because of number 5, Uche Dimke. Got his hand up into the quarterback and forced that bad pass.
Welcome back to the Melissa Cardinals Network. You got to meet our defensive player of the game for the victory over Colleyville Heritage. That was defensive end Uche Dimpa. Now you get to meet our offensive player of the game, quarterback Brett Holloway. Congratulations on being the offensive player of the game.
Thank you.
Is this your 3rd visit here this season?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you're making it a regular thing, so Congratulations. Another tremendous game. 215 yards passing, 232 yards on the ground, 447 total yards. Congratulations on an excellent game.
Thank you.
A touchdown through the air, a touchdown on the ground. What was the game plan going in?
The game plan was just to run our offense. We knew that we were a better team. We knew that we'd be able to run the ball at will and just execute.
Okay. Did you expect to have over 200 yards on the ground?
Not in the wildest of dreams.
Okay. So how did it happen?
Just doing what I'm supposed to do when my number's called, and it's kind of happened.
Okay. Let's do a little coaching for our audience, okay? A read play. Everybody in football knows what a read play is, but if you don't understand football, explain it.
So it's basically whenever you're trying to isolate a defender and just kind of make him wrong in whatever choice he makes. And that's really the best way I can describe it.
Make him wrong. That's a coaching phrase, okay? So the defensive end, if he takes the running back, then the quarterback runs the ball. If he takes the quarterback, running back runs the ball, right?
Yes, sir.
So most of your plays, were they called quarterback runs or were they reads?
It was a combination.
Okay.
Majority of them were just calling my number.
Okay. And talk about your O-line and the great job they did.
They did a fantastic job up front. I mean, they started the game. First drive of the game, we went all the way down the field on them, just kind of set the tone, and they just kept that energy all night, allowed me to kind of just run behind them for all those yards.
What's the game plan for El Paso Andres? A long drive Friday night out in West Texas. What's your thought heading into that game?
I mean, I feel like we're a better team. Just do what we're supposed to do, take care of business on the road, and
What have you seen on film?
I would say they're similar to Colleyville Heritage
Okay.
in a sense that I don't think that they have a very strong run defense.
Okay.
So I feel like it should be more or less the same.
Another 200-yard rushing game?
Hopefully.
You'll take it? Okay, congratulations. What's the status on the recruiting world?
Still not talking to any new coaches, just kind of playing it by ear.
Okay.
Just waiting for my turn in a sense.
Do you have a timeline in mind? Do you want to make a decision by a certain date?
Not as of right now.
Okay. And talk to the Cardinal fans about their support all season long.
I'm really grateful of the support that I've been given throughout the community, just from week one until now. I mean, it's kind of overwhelming, but I just want to thank all of Cardinal Nation for allowing me to step into this role as my first year as a quarterback. And let's go get a ring.
447 yards of total offense. Congratulations on being our offensive player of the game, quarterback Brett Holloway. An outstanding game in the first playoff round. We'll take a break and talk more with Coach Matt Nally right after this.
Cardinals offense led by Brett Holloway, who's thrown for 1,894 yards. He's completed 77% of his passes. He's thrown for 28 touchdowns and run for 13 of them. And he's going to throw the ball here. He's got a deep post route. DeBabney's open, and he makes the catch for a first down. The ball. We have a 3rd and 4 just beyond midfield. Cardinals' first drive of the game. Quarterback sweep. Brett Holloway turns the corner and gets the first down at the Heritage 40-yard line in the Cardinals. 2nd and 5. Fake it to the running back. Quarterback's going to keep it. Makes a man miss. And he's got a first down. They're going to spot it right at the 10. 1st and goal now. Same formation. And this is a quarterback keep going left, trying to turn the corner, and does so. And keeps his tiptoe. And wow. He tiptoed out of bounds at the 13, even though the Cardinal fans were hopeful he stayed in all the way to the goal line. Great. First down from the 13.
Great balance. They're going to see a replay. And yes, he did step out.
Brett Holloway, over 100 yards rushing in the first half, has the only score of the night, a rushing touchdown for the Cardinals. Ball at the 37-yard line, trips right and split left. Bear Tabor is the lead blocker, and the quarterback Holloway is going to run it over the left side and has a breakaway, and it's a track meet, 40, and he's going to go out of bounds. Business decision there by the quarterback. It's going to be a big gain. First down, Cardinals. They'll spot it at the 29-yard line.
It's a good balance there early in the hole. Ran through two tacklers. Really surprised that he ran out of bounds with his speed.
Here's a 2nd down, 7, right to the line of scrimmage. Twins left, wing left. Fake the handoff, looking right, throwing right. Caught by Swain, who makes a man miss. And he goes out of bounds at the midfield stripe. Gain of 14, first down, Cardinals.
Thought about taking the ball back into the field, but used his head and got out of bounds.
Holloway fakes the handoff, throws the go route to DeBabney in the end zone. Is going to drop in. He's being dragged down, and he's going to bring in the football for a touchdown, even though he was being mugged.
And
touchdown,
no
Cardinals.
Ever came out. The hands have went up.
Touchdown to Babney.
Would love to see a replay here.
Here it is, Coach.
See if that's a one-handed grab.
That is a one-handed grab in the end zone. His right arm was being mugged by Heritage, by Hayden West.
Have we seen that before?
And we saw it a couple of weeks ago. Yes, sir. Touchdown Cardinals. 18 seconds on the clock. Gentile comes out for a PAT attempt. Excellent play by Dalton DeBabney, our player of the game in the offense last week. Gentile's PAT is up and good. He's 3 for 3 on the night. Cardinals lead 21-10. Excellent job. Excellent clock management. Excellent 2-minute drive. And the Cardinals got a score to extend this lead.
Yeah, the Cardinals got the ball back with like 4 minutes and change left, down 10-7. And then drive down quickly and score, force a 3 and out, score again very quickly. And just what a momentum change going into the locker room to where the Panthers thought they were somewhat, with a little bit of control and momentum going into the half up. They could not get that defensive stop they needed, and 14 unanswered points later, they're going to go in trailing 21-10.
And the Cardinals will get the football to start the second half. So the Cardinals can get the twofer potentially here.
Still can't believe a flag didn't come out on that last touchdown.
It was a mugging. It's time. And quarterback's going to keep it. Holloway makes one man miss, showing some speed and slices through the defense down to the 10-yard line.
He gave a little quick dead leg, slowed his pace down, then able to put on the gas and just run right by that defender.
First and goal from the 10. Cardinals up by 11, trying to add to that. Second down and 6. Fake it to the running back again. Quarterback Holloway runs for a first down and more. Showing some moves all the way to the 18-yard line. Cardinals have just run it down the throat of the Panthers. Rushing yard totals, Coach. 269 for the Cardinals, 14 for the Panthers.
Welcome back to the Melissa Cardinals Network. This is our week's edition of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. You got to meet our defensive player of the game, Uche Dimpa, and our quarterback, the offensive player of the game, Brett Holloway. Tremendous game for both of those players. And let's talk about this coming second-round playoff against El Paso Andres. They had a big victory in El Paso last week, and they defeated Wichita Falls Memorial. Of course, Melissa defeated Colleyville Heritage in the first round of the playoffs. And because the UIL often doesn't know where Melissa is located, Melissa is in Region 1. Region 1, if you speak UIL, is West Texas. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe in your days, but definitely in my days, the UIL thought Melissa was in East Texas.
Right.
Winsboro and Bullard and Grand Saline. Mm-hmm. That's way east, and now we're going way west.
Right.
So we're the flex group, I guess, and who knows where we'll be in February of next year. Right. But we're going west to play El Paso Andres in the second round of the playoffs. The game will be played at Friendship High School in the city of Wolfforth, Texas. Wolfforth is right next to Lubbock, in case you don't know where that is. And so, Coach, here's your trivia question. How many miles away from Melissa High School is El Paso Andres?
I don't know, but I took my two older boys, to El Paso 2 years ago to watch Notre Dame play Oregon State in the
Sun Bowl.
Yeah. And it took us 10 hours.
Okay.
So, oh man, 600 miles?
Very good. 676 miles.
That's insane.
From Melissa to El Paso. And for all you people who just moved to Texas, you don't leave Texas, understanding that, right? Okay. Yeah. Now, Friendship High School is in Wolfforth, Texas, the theoretical midpoint. How far away is Wolfforth from Melissa?
300?
359 miles.
Hey.
So 359 miles to go play a second round playoff game. And if all goes well, it might be just like a few miles for the third round. We'll see where it goes. So if you're gas in your car, you need to fill up because it's going to be a long way. And if you're not able to join us in Friendship High School, then we'll be right here on the Melissa Cardinals Network. Remember what we've described about NFHS and the UIL broadcast arrangements. You have to buy a subscription to watch the video stream. If you want to listen on the radio side, of course, that's free on the Melissa Cardinals Network. And that's going to be a 7 p.m. kickoff on Friday. And so for your 7 p.m. kickoff, you will drive away at what time?
So we're going to meet up here about 6:15. We're going to do our regular kind of jog through and whatnot. And then we're going to come in and we're going to get cleaned up, pack up, and eat breakfast and do a little chapel. And then we're going to get headed on the road about 8:20.
So for your 7 p.m. game, you're leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Okay. For a second round playoff game. The El Paso Andres Eagles are 9-2 on the year. They're the winner of their district. District 1 out there in El Paso. You were the second seed out of your district. And give the Cardinal fans a little bit of a scouting report on the Andres Eagles.
Yeah, so they're going to base their defense out of a 3-4.
Like the Cardinals play,
like what we do. They do a little bit different things. They stand their nose up.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I have no idea.
I don't see that one very much.
Yeah, they stand their nose up. Offensively, they are a predominantly run football team, but they do throw it a little bit or throw it enough. The quarterback is very talented, can run and throw. They got very talented receivers. They're a really good football team. So to me, there's that stigma of, El Paso and whatnot in football. This is not, they're a good football team, and we're going to have to travel well, and we're going to have to play well because there's no excuses. It's the playoffs now.
The winner of the Melissa versus El Paso Andres game plays the winner of Amarillo Palo Duro versus the Anacoyotes.
Right. Right.
So who knows what we might be talking about sitting right here next week. Could be quite an interesting game. Either way, we'll look forward to a hopeful third round playoff matchup. Talk about we've got applause coming from down the hallway here. We have a special event that someone else is doing while we're filming this broadcast. Talk about the arrangements. We've explained this a little bit, but you and the El Paso Andres coach had to make arrangements after you both were victorious in the first round. You had about 5 or 6 candidates for locations, and I don't think Friendship High School was even on your list.
They weren't.
So talk about how that happened.
So it was a weird situation because we had communications with Wichita Falls Memorial.
Who was the opponent to Andres?
We had very little communication with El Paso, very little. So it was kind of, because I'm going to be transparent and honest, like the first round of the playoffs for us was a difficult task. I know everyone sees it's 41-10, but Colleyville Heritage, that was a really good football team. So we really, as a staff, focused so much into Colleyville Heritage that we didn't really focus on anything else. So now I've done a better job this week. I've already got where we play at, and I've already kind of potentially nailed down where we would play Wichita Falls or Amarillo
Palo Duro. Yeah.
So done a way better job this week. But discussing, and this is me being naive. I thought finding a game in Lubbock, or finding a place in Lubbock, or Odessa, I thought it'd be easy. Wrong, very much so wrong. It was not easy. It was very difficult. And then both coaches have to agree to the stadium, and then everyone has their own opinions and their own things that they want to do. Originally, the plan was to play at Texas Tech at 4 p.m. on Friday. Excuse me. And I was ecstatic. That was perfect. Allowed us to get out there, play at a really cool place, and both great for both schools. And didn't get home early, whereas now we're getting home about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. But with that being said, I thought, man, that would be such a cool thing, and that did work out. So that was Plan A. That didn't work out. So then it was okay. We're gonna just look around the Lubbock area. Not a big deal. We'll figure this out. And it was a big deal. Every single stadium was taken for a playoff game. Now there were people that were like, "Hey, we'll play. You can play at 2. You can play at 11 a.m." And we were like, "No, we're not doing those things." So we had to come to an agreement, and the agreement was that we're just gonna nail down any place at this point, any place. So we had decided that Lubbock Roosevelt was going to be the place that we were going to play. It's a little 3A school there in Lubbock. Jim Miller, who used to coach
Yes.
here or be the principal here, is I think he's the athletic director there. That's what we're going to do. And then the best thing that happened over the weekend, and I don't think a lot of people know this, but Duke Sparks used to work for Rice, and he was the director of football operations for Rice. And he just called me and just checking on me, and I kind of vented my frustration. And he was like, "Let me make one phone call." And he made one phone call, and he's like, "Hey, there's a stadium there called People's Bank Stadium, and I know now he has connections through Symmetry and Turf people, and he's got a connection that can get me a connection to this place." And I was like, "That's fantastic. Let's, if you don't mind." And he did it. And within 5 minutes, we had People's Bank Stadium, and called the guy from El Paso, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So that's kind of how that came about. And then looking at the stadium, it looks very nice. It's once again, you see it on the internet. When we get there, it might be a hole in the wall. I have no idea. But on the internet, it looks nice. It looks really good. This is a round 2, really good place to play. So I'm kind of excited to, it kind of feels, you're traveling 6 hours. It almost kind of, it's surreal. It's kind of like what you see like on TV and stuff. And I hope the kids really enjoy it.
7 o'clock kickoff this Friday. Friendship High School, Wolfforth, Texas. 6:30 pregame show right here on the Melissa Cardinals Network. Coach Kenny Deal and I will be there bringing you the broadcast. Hope you'll join us. If you can't be there in person, NFHS, the video stream, radio network free on the Melissa Cardinals Network, is going to be a great game. Second round playoff, your Melissa Cardinals against the El Paso Andres Eagles. Coach, we'll see you in West Texas.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for spending your time with us here on the Melissa Cardinals Network. I invite you to spend some time with us on Sunday mornings in our church home. Your family's invited to our church family, First Melissa, Sunday mornings 9 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. Would love to see you then. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you Friday in West Texas. Go Cardinals.